Well, hello, one and all, to the Spacecast. Welcome back to the second iteration of this podcast. Yes, I know some of you might be asking, well, where's Mike Fisher? Where's the episode? Don't worry, he's coming this week, and I'm promising you that. Swear to God. I just wanted to do this one while it was fresh on my mind because if I don't do it, I'm gonna forget about it. And on top of that, keep this in mind too. I'm also not doing the position evaluation episodes as quickly because I want to wait until we get a little bit closer to kind of like finish it off and then go into training camp with some content to talk about so we don't have a lull. Okay? So there's that. But make sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. That's greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's talk about why I hate quarterback rankings. Okay, so before I go into the tweets that I want to talk about, I need to provide my personal evaluation on how I rank quarterbacks. I do them through tiers. When I evaluate a quarterback, and this is including college quarterbacks, which I'm not saying I'm an expert on, but I do it in tiers, right? Okay, are you the cream of the crop? Are you a top level guy? Like, are you a guy that's like, is a force multiplier on the field? Are you average? Like, are you good enough to just win you games? That kind of you know what I mean. Are you terrible? See what I mean? I'm not going to tie the wins of the team to a player. I can tie reasons for why the team won. Like, if the quarterback was literally the one carrying the team or played so damn well that you have to acknowledge that's one thing. But for them to single-handedly win them the game is ridiculous. Like, you can use, and I'm going to use this example, the Super Bowl against the Seahawks and the Patriots, right? It's not like Tom Brady. Well, Tom Brady had like 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He didn't have the ball to win the game. Well, he did, but his defense won him the Super Bowl. It wasn't him solely responsible for winning the championship. Was he part of it? Yeah, like he of course is part of the reasoning for that. Like, if you look at other instances, right? Is it Matt Ryan's fault that his team blew a 28-3 lead? No. It's not his fault that his team is electing to do these dropbacks and shit when you're up that much. It's not his fault that the team went a certain way. You see what I'm getting at? It just doesn't make sense. So, remember, if there's any lesson you can take away from today's episode, quarterback wins are not a stat. You cannot tie wins to the direct success of how a quarterback plays. However, you can tie how a team does with how a quarterback plays. See what I'm getting at? And I'll talk about that in examples with Mr. Rain Dakota Prescott as well. I know some people have mixed thoughts, especially in Cowboy land. But let's start off with the most interesting one of all. This was a list that was constructed by the ones over at the NFL, and that being the executives, right? With that being said, the NFL executives always make me laugh because, again, like, I don't know what the grading material is. They, like, some people say, like, okay, this is the grading material, blah, 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 right? But I didn't see anything for the executives list, so I'm going to just say right now, don't be, like, telling me, oh, well, this person should be here and this. I don't care. I'm not here to talk about, like, in that list. I mean, I will, of course. Why would I not? Look, I'm just joking aside. But here's the list. Written down. Dak Prescott at 10. Deshaun Watson at 9. Russell Wilson at 8. Justin Herbert at 7. Matt Stafford at 6. Joe Burrow at 5. Tom Brady at 4. Josh Allen at 3. Patrick Mahomes at 2. And Aaron Rodgers at 1. Okay? Here's the thing. I think the list in this regard, I'm not saying this because Dak's at 10. I honestly am not, because I have him at like 7. If you put a gun to my head and say, Space, you have to make a tier list or a quarterback list. I do tier lists, by the way. I don't do the freaking quarterback rankings. I think tier lists are stupid because they're way too linear. With tier lists, it's a lot more ambiguous and fluid, so like you can, explain yourself. With that being said, I don't know why Deshaun Watson's on this list to begin with. I think anybody that's ranking Deshaun Watson on the list, you're really putting your morals in front of like legitimate logic. Deshaun Watson should not be on any list until he plays a down of football, even though the dude is a scumbag. This is my opinion. Russell Wilson at 8. I mean, he's a really good quarterback. Like, I get it. Justin Herbert at 7. I think Justin Herbert is fantastic. I understand why he's in the top 10. I definitely, in my tier list, have him in that upper echelon, as you see. So keep that in mind. Matt Stafford. I honestly think Matt Stafford's way too high. I think that Matt Stafford should actually, like, after this year, yes, I think that he is in the upper echelon of quarterbacks, people. I'm not discrediting that. However, again, I don't know why he's, and Joe Burrow's at 5. Again, like, stop using the team success for why you're putting a guy at 5 and 6. Like, think about it this way. If Dak Prescott led the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, I'm not putting the guy number 1. I'm not putting the guy in the top 4. No, that's stupid. Unless, like, he's playing exponentially better. That's different. But Matt Stafford didn't play obscenely better. Joe Burrow, same thing. These guys did not play, like, ridiculously good in the playoffs to be like, oh my God, like, these guys are amazing. Like, you know what I mean? So, there's that. I do agree that the top 4 in what I mean by in this list, but more so in the cream of the crop of my list, yeah, like, that's untouchable. I think that in the list, it's, if you were to say, okay, rank these guys in the cream of the crop list, I would say, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. That's just me. Again, but it's like you're whatever the hell you want. And the reason I brought up this list is because then there was a tweet that came out, and this kind of ties into my point, is that so Ryan Clark put out a tweet responding to this saying, people might say I'm capping for Lamar Jackson, but to me it's common sense. Any other QB with his effect, his success, his overall statistics would be worshipped. Yet we're discussing why he isn't in the top 10 quarterbacks. The 3 other former MVPs are in the top 4. Guess I'm dumb though. Here's the thing, and I want to make this emphatically clear. You being an MVP 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 7 years ago, 11 years ago, a million years ago, that does not matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is, what did you do this particular year? Lamar did not play well this year. However, I do think he is in that upper echelon of quarterbacks. That's just me. I think it's just, I don't understand the whole thought process of like, okay, these guys are former this, therefore, like, that's like saying, okay, you know what? Did you guys know that Jimmy Garoppolo has 2 Super Bowls, therefore he's better and he should be in the top? Like, get the fuck out of here. That's not how that works. Everybody with a brain knows that's not how it works. You grade people on how they play, not on their accolades. If you're talking about accolades, then that's a whole different conversation, but we're not here to talk about that. Right? I think Lamar Jackson will be fine, though. Being real with you, he'll be fine. So Ryan Clark says this, and then he responded to a guy that said, what a garbage take. Can't think of one quarterback who's supposed to be elite getting worshipped for underachieving, wins some playoff games, that's it. It is not the quarterback's responsibility to carry a team to playoff wins. It is the team's responsibility to play well to lead you to playoff wins. That is the key difference. I hate it when people have this fucking idea that, oh, well, you know, this person didn't do this. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. I'm trying not to be super hostile, but it's just some people are really stupid. Think about it this way, right? If I were to tell you, oh, well, Dak Prescott was the reason the Cowboys beat the Seahawks in 2018, some of you would look at me and be like, Space, what the fuck are you talking about? He played good enough to win you the game, but what won you the game was your defense playing well. What won you the game was the fact that the Seahawks kicker blew out his hamstring. There are multiple factors that go into a win. Yes, a quarterback can be responsible for that, but you can point to many other things. That doesn't mean they're solely responsible for a playoff win. People have this low IQ take on this, and I freaking hate it. And this is even including bigger content creators on YouTube and in the sports realm. Right? Like, you look at it this way. Patrick Mahomes, he won the Super Bowl. And, are we going to talk about how Patrick Mahomes is this goated guy, but sometimes he just, I don't know what the hell he doesn't sometimes, but like this last, the AFC Championship game, I was like, what the hell is he doing? Patrick Mahomes just looks like he wet the bed, and it's just like, and it's not like he didn't play well in that game. It's just like, dude, like, you could have won the game, or you could have, like, the way that he played towards the end really rubbed me the wrong way. It's like the same thing with Dak in the same playoff. It's like, dude, you start off playing very mid, and then you're kind of trying to rally the team back. Like, even if the Cowboys won that game, depending on how the rest of the playoff games went, I'd be like, well, Dak kind of, yeah, sure, he helped you win, but like, it wasn't like he was helping you either. That's no slight on him. That's just being mean. Like, I'll say that about all these guys. It's not freaking Josh Allen's fault. His team allowed, freaking Patrick Mahomes to storm down the field, and they had the weird-ass shootout towards the end. No. So the guy goes on to say, Ryan Clark, says this. Justin Herbert, number 7, never been to the playoffs. Dak Prescott, number 10, no playoff wins. Ryan, you're a member of the media, and you don't know that Dak Prescott took part in a Cowboys playoff win in 2018 versus Seattle. What the fuck, dude? Like, it's not because it's Dak. It's because I hate it when people come to an argument and they don't know what the frig they're talking about. Like, dude, if you say misinformation and you don't know what you're talking about, I'm not going to engage with that. Seriously, that is. Deshaun, and I think, with Deshaun, like, him having the 1 playoff win and Stafford 0 in over a decade till this year. Rodgers' consistent failure in the playoffs, number 1, so you were saying. That's not how you grade quarterbacks, Ryan. Is their play a factor sometimes? Yeah, like, I felt that Aaron Rodgers, similar to Dak Prescott, against the same goddamn opponent, right, played enough to win you the game. However, due to other factors at play, the team as a whole lost the game. It is not his fault that the special teams wet the bed at the end of the game. It is not that's not his fault. By that same logic, I should be like, well, Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, because for some reason he always wins in the playoffs of recent. Or he's a better quarterback than Josh Allen, which everybody and their mother knows is not goddamn true. Jimmy Garoppolo is a prime example of your team as a whole doing their part to win you a game. Jimmy Garoppolo played very mid in the Dallas game. And if I guarantee you, right, if Dallas had come back to win that game, I would have been like, well, the Cowboys played like crap to start the game, but Jimmy Garoppolo played worse. He did. Like, people need to understand that. I don't give a damn about, like, if you're trying to pinpoint team success to the quarterback, like, wholeheartedly, like 110%, like it's the quarterback's fault that the team lost, you're stupid. I'm sorry. So there's that. And then I know a lot of my Cowboys brethren were saying the same thing, like, like, what the hell? And then, it's just like, what the hell? And, I'm just flabbergasted. That's all. And then, again, a big thing of mine where I say give props to those that play well and criticize those that don't play well. That goes with any quarterback, right? Like, if, for example, like Kirk Cousins, sometimes it's like he plays phenomenal. I still think he's in that middle to top tier quarterback range. I think he's great. I not great, but I really like Kirk Cousins. I think that he's a fine quarterback. There are moments where, like, sometimes it's like he goes into a shell and he's not the reason you win. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And I know a lot of people are going to go into the comments, Space Cowboys being a hypocrite. No. Me being a hypocrite would be me saying something to the akin of, well, quarterback wins aren't a stat, but so-and-so is the reason the team, keeps winning all the time. It's not anything. Like, everything is a case-by-case, game-by-game basis. Okay? And then, it's a whole mess. And then, moving on to another thing that kind of made me fucking laugh, Mr. Lord Brunson, and I guess it's Philly Mike, they did a top 12 list, or whatever the fuck. So this is their grades, okay? I'm going to start from top to bottom, not bottom to top. Okay? So Patrick Mahomes at number 1 for both of them. Aaron Rodgers at 2, Tom Brady at 3, Josh Allen at 4, and Russell Wilson at 5. Like, those are, like, in that same category. Okay, so that's your top 5. All right, whatever. Matt Stafford for Lord Brunson, Deshaun Watson at 7 for Lord Brunson, Joe Burrow at 8 for Lord Brunson, Lamar Jackson at 9, Justin Herbert at 10, Dak Prescott at 11, Derek Carr at 12. Right? That's Lord Brunson's remaining list. For Philly Mike, Joe Burrow at 6, Deshaun Watson at 7, 8's Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson at 9, Matt Stafford there at 10, and then Dak Prescott at 11, Kyler Murray at 12, excuse me. I'm going to just tell you guys right now, you guys should not put Deshaun Watson that high. You shouldn't even grade him. And I'm not saying this because I'm salty that Dak Prescott's at 11. I really don't give a fuck. I just think you guys are selling your morals just to make a point. I'm sorry. Don't put fucking Deshaun Watson on any lists because the dude hasn't played in almost 2 fucking years. I just hate this type of stuff, and you can see why I get heated, because I hate ignorance. I hate people that do this type of shit, because they, like, it's one thing if you say, okay, like, Deshaun Watson is, I'm gonna put him here if he plays, that, but again, that's the point of it, is like, if he comes back and he plays well, that's different. Don't grade the fucking guy on what he did 2 years ago. And it's my point when I said about Ryan Clark. Don't say, well, this person did this a couple years ago. I don't give a shit. Like, if Matt Stafford doesn't win for the rest of his career and he doesn't play well, you mean to tell me, oh, he's still a top 10 quarterback because remember the Super Bowl he won? No, get the hell out of here. So the comments really made me laugh because it's like, this is the point I'm trying to get across. Okay, so here's the tweet. Sorry, my apologies. So here's the deal. A guy responded, way to prove y'all don't know ball. Okay, I'm not saying I don't question his football intelligence. I've seen his, like, he's got decent takes. He then says this, I'm not giving anybody top 10 who just doesn't get it done. Sorry. So let me get this straight, right? We're going to use anybody else on the list, okay? So using his logic, right? Joe Burrow didn't get the job done. Or, excuse me, Matt Stafford got the job done. All right. Deshaun Watson, he didn't get the job done. Joe Burrow didn't get the job done. Lamar Jackson didn't get the job done. Justin Herbert definitely wasn't able to get the job done because he hasn't been in the playoffs. Dak Prescott, yeah, he didn't get the job done. Derek Carr didn't get the job done. Fucking Josh Allen didn't get the job done. And you mean to tell me that these guys in the top 10 that you have here are worthy based off of your ranking? That doesn't make any goddamn sense, dude. What the hell? And it's just like, what the hell? And then, And then this is the part that gets me. And then you have an Eagles fan being like, Dak has been in the league for 6 years and never made it to a championship game. All the guys you named, and this guy said that Watson, Dunn, Jackson, the same point I'm getting at. But Dak's been in the league for 6 years and never been to a championship game. That's not his goddamn fault. It's not his fault that part of the team doesn't do his job. And even this year, like, if he doesn't do his part, that's part of it too. But still, in the other playoff games and this applies to any other guy. Like, you mean to fucking tell me Josh Allen, who didn't get it done, didn't win a Super Bowl, didn't get past whatever the hell, this year, is it his fault? No, he played phenomenal. He played out of this world. It's his fault? Oh, it's because these guys did things at other points in time. I thought we were talking about 2022, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking about what these fuckers did years ago. Who gives a fuck? And then, you know, it's just like, it's so goddamn stupid. And then it just gives me a brain aneurysm. And then here's the thing. And then when he's criticized by another content creator, I can't in good faith put Watson on my list. This man says because of his allegations or his talent, because he hasn't played in like 2 years and may not again. Fair point. He missed 1 season so far. He's not the first quarterback to do that, but he has to be the first quarterback to get written off for it. Again, and I agree with J-Tuck, they had to lose the moral compass in order to prevent the truth, and I agree. Lord Brunson, if I'm being honest with you, you should not have graded Deshaun Watson. And that goes for anybody. I do not have Deshaun Watson graded because of the shit that's going on. I know what he did 2 years ago. For all I know, he plays like shit. I don't know. But you should not, in good faith, grade a guy for what's going on. We don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be doing this to push an agenda. Because you don't want to say certain people are better than other people. And I'm not talking about Dak. Like, I'm talking about other quarterbacks. You know, like, again, like, you just contradicted yourself. You know, like, what the hell? And then here's the thing, too. Oh, someone said that Herbert is a top 3 quarterback. Whatever, okay. And then he says, you're biased to Herbert. I get it, but he's not better than Brady, Mahomes, or Josh Allen. He has never made the playoffs before. That is not the fault of Justin Herbert. It's not, unless he played like shit and was legitimately, like, the point of why they didn't make it. Don't do that stuff, man. It pisses me off when people do this shit. And I'm willing to have a conversation about it. Okay, like, what the frig? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense why people would do this type of stuff. Like, what the hell is going on? And by the way, I'm going to whisper into the mic, Deshaun Watson and his team went 4-12. I thought you guys didn't know that, you know? Like, talk about not get it done. You're talking about a dude that had a really good season, but his team went 4-12. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Anybody that's putting Deshaun Watson on the list right now has no moral compass. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out of here. I apologize for the thing. And then, it's just, even Colin Cowherd doesn't fail to amaze me. Like, dudes, I can't even go over his list because I can't even look at it. Like, he had Derek Carr and, you know, Derek Carr and frickin' Kyler Murray in the top 10 when neither of them last year, in my opinion, had top level quarterback play. They played good enough to be like, yeah, you can do something with this guy, but not outer worldly force multiplier like I've seen with other players. Like, get the hell out of here. So, with that being said, I wanted to move on to the final part of this video, and that is my tier list. Okay, so my tier list works as follows. It starts off with the rookies. Rookies are not graded. I'm not, and again, like I said, I didn't put Deshaun Watson on the list yet because he hasn't played, so he won't be on the list. So the rookies, I haven't seen him play in the NFL. We'll wait. To be determined. To be determined is the ranking that, okay, this person, I have not determined where they are at in the other scheme of things because they haven't had enough time for me to prove that. That's like your sophomore quarterbacks or, maybe a third-year quarterback that I haven't seen a lot of, right? Next is backup. Like, these guys are shit. Or, like, they are not good enough to be a starter. But, like, they could start maybe for a game or two. Average starter is kind of like the epitome of, how would I say it? Like, okay, this person is like, you can start these guys, but you shouldn't have them long term, if that makes any sense. And then finally, you got the franchise quarterback tiers. I have 3 portions to it. Franchise quarterback this is the guy you can win with for 5 going on years. Like, this is a guy you can hold on for a while and he'll play good enough for you to win games. Like, as a team. Like, he's not going to be the reason why you lose if in most instances, or in a decent amount of instances. Next is the top tier franchise quarterback. These are guys that are force multipliers. They play very, very well on a consistent basis. And on top of that, even if they go into lulls and stuff like that, they don't fully, like, cause the team to lose, if that makes any sense. Like you can win with these guys 5-10 plus years and they're good at what they do. Like, really good. Cream of the crop, these are the best guys in the league. So to start things off, we have the rookies, obviously Malik Willis, Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett, and Matt Corral. I can't rank those guys. To be determined. Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, Zach Wilson, the guy that's ironically coming from the college that's called the Cougars. You look up what happened, you'll get a chuckle out of that. Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Davis Mills, and Trey Lance. For backups, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, in case those are living under a rock, Mitchell Trubisky, Marcus Mariota, Sam Darnold, and Drew Lock. Now we get into average starters. Again, these are guys that you can definitely play, but I wouldn't trust them as the long-term answer at quarterback for a plethora of reasons, whether it be age, inconsistent play, whatever. Matt Ryan, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Ryan Tannehill, Jameis Winston, Baker Mayfield, and Jimmy Garoppolo. The guys in this tier list are guys that I would maybe have for a year to 3 on my team, but I would not do anything more. And that's pretty much it. And also, like, their level of play hasn't been, like, outer worldly. They've been like, okay, these guys can get the job done, but they're not going to be the guy that's like, okay, you know what, he's going to be the emphasis on why your team is good. Or, like, he is going to enhance your chances of winning as a team. That's what's different. It's not that they are solely responsible. It's that sometimes it's how these guys play. Franchise quarterbacks. Again, like I said, these are guys that you can have for 5+ years and they will be fine. That is Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, and Kyler Murray, as much as I hate Kyler Murray. But yeah, these guys are they're good. They are good. Are they great? No. I think Kirk Cousins is the closest he's the tweener. I think that he's close to getting into the top tier, but like the problem is there are games where he's brilliant and games that he's not. I'm not saying the guy has to throw 5 touchdowns a game, but like even without the stats, like there are moments where I'm like, what is he doing? And sometimes it's the team that does it. Top tier franchise quarterbacks. I got Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Joey B, Joe Burrow, and Matt Stafford. I put these guys here because honestly, like even if they sometimes are inconsistent, they've played very well and definitely like can be like a consistent, like, okay, you know what you're getting and you're getting a good product out of that. Like this is like when I use the phrase top 12 quarterback play, this is kind of like what I'm talking about. Top 12 is like you're in the, to kind of get reference to people that don't understand the tier portion of it. It's like, yeah, like this guy's like good enough to get you wins. Like he's good enough to have your team do well. He's not going to be a detriment to your team. Your cream of the crop, if you haven't known it, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and Josh Allen. That's my tier list. Again, like this is fluid. Like you can say, oh, well, I don't think that this guy is great, but I still think he's a franchise quarterback. And that's the problem is people think franchise quarterback means elite. Like, no, it just means that you like, okay, this guy, I can win with him. Right. And like, for example, like you can have a guy that is a near tier of an average starter be a franchise quarterback. Like a good example of this, I would say, like Derek Carr over the past couple seasons has been that, okay, like this guy, he's not going to be the reason you lose games, but like sometimes he's not going to be the reason you win games. Right. But there's that. But I don't want to go on forever. That is my tier list. That is what I hate about quarterback rankings. I think they're dumb as shit. But there's that. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the second episode of the Spacecast. I love this new show. I think that it's going to be great. The first one was in a stratosphere of, not acceptance, but of viewership. And like I got well received. I'm tired. It's nearly 12:30 in the morning, and I had a long day, so I think I should go to bed. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow me on Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.